This is the Southside School of Financial Freedom Market Report and Small Account Update for the week ending September 14th, 2024. The market finished higher this week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average increased 0.72% on Friday and was up 2.6% for the week. The S&P 500 increased 0.54% on Friday and was up 4.02% for the week. The Nasdaq increased 0.65% on Friday and was up 5.95% for the week. Looking at the week, we can see that there were 14 up finishes versus one down finish for the major indexes. On Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all the major indexes finished up. On Tuesday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average finished down, while the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq finished up. And on Friday, all the major indexes finished up again. How did you do? My small account finished 9.73% higher and generated cash flow of 1.28%. Even when the market falls and or my account doesn't do well, I still get income or cash flow by selling covered calls and naked puts. This method does not only guarantee cash flow or income, it can also beat the S&P 500. I use a watch list to determine which options of stocks that I want to sell. A stock has to meet 5 criteria to be put on my trading watch list. I will not reveal what my criteria are, but if you examine my list, you may be able to figure out the criteria for yourself. The last row is my benchmark row. That is, I measure my performance against gold, silver, and the S&P 500. Looking at my watch list from the week, the strongest performer on the list was Rocket Lab USA Incorporated, ticker symbol RKLB in the first column. It was up 8.75% on Friday and increased 28.4% for the week. Rocket Lab USA Incorporated designs and manufactures small and medium class rockets, spacecraft and spacecraft components, and related software and services to support the space economy. Rocket Labs delivers reliable launch services, spacecraft design services, spacecraft components, spacecraft manufacturing, and other spacecraft and on-orbit management solutions that make it easier to access space. Looking at a summary of results, you can see that Rocket Labs has increased almost 35% year to date. I generated cash flow from Rocket Labs recently. I generated cash flow from selling 4 different option contracts this week, 4 calls that range from $5.34 to $16.34. So on Monday, I sold 3 calls, 1 for $16.34 and 2 for $10.34 each. On Tuesday, I sold a call for $5.34. That's a total of $42.36, which is not a lot of money, but the account is small. $42.36 in cash flow was 1.28% of my account value. With this system, the cash flow money is free and clear. You can take it out of your account and spend it or leave it in to build your cash balance and or invest it. If you want to increase the amount of cash flow, just use a larger account. For example, to 10x the cash flow to $423.60, use a larger account, and instead of selling 1 of everything that I sold, sell 10. This strategy is guaranteed to produce cash flow immediately and every week that it is applied. However, it does not guarantee the amount of cash flow from week to week, nor the value of your account. The amount varies and the account value varies. Despite the variations in amount and value, the goal is to generate cash flow and beat the S&P 500. Please note that most professional money managers and their strategies do not consistently beat the S&P 500 every year. They usually lose, and they lose by a lot. Last year, this method beat the S&P 500 by almost 12%, but in 2024, my account is down, minus 23.87% versus 18.24% up for SPY, which is an S&P 500 ETF. That's a difference of 42.11%. So I am losing to the S&P 500 by more than 42%. It is not unusual to beat the S&P 500 one year and then lose to the index the next year. And that is what I am doing. I am still trailing the S&P 500 by a lot. Is it time to throw in the towel on the cash flow system? Or do you think I can make a comeback to beat the S&P 500 by the end of the year? Tune in next week to find out what happens. Bitcoin Watch. Bitcoin gained 10.31% this past week, and it is down 18.63% from its all-time high. It is up just over 43% year to date. Some people believe that Bitcoin is the most transformative financial asset in 1,000 years. I think the best course of action is to dollar cost average, that is DCA, into the S&P 500 and DCA into Bitcoin at a 30 to 70% ratio for the next 10 years, and or up to when you have invested at least $10,000. In fact, I have implemented a similar strategy where I have a portfolio that is about 85% in a Bitcoin ETF. After 13 weeks, it is down minus 2.76%. However, the S&P 500, SPY, is up 3.54%, and the cash flow system is down minus 12.03% in those 13 weeks. What do you think? What is your strategy? Do you know how to produce cash flow every week and beat the S&P 500? Do you invest in Bitcoin, which may prove to be the smartest investment of the decade? As you develop, analyze, and implement your strategy, please check back to see how my small account and my Bitcoin dominant account performs against the S&P 500 from week to week by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you.